what is going to be the first thing to break? Alrighty, welcome back, friends. So, go ahead and putting all these pistons in now. I got 3 of them in so far. I can't find my assembly lube for some reason right now. So I'm just kind of oiling the bearings as I'm putting them in, and then I'll probably try to find my assembly lube and then throw some on the bearings before I torque them down, but I just can't find it right now. So I'll show you what I'm doing. I am going ahead and gapping the rings. I'll just show you what I'm doing on this one. The second ring is actually at like 30 thousandths already. And the top ring was at 22. So I'm gonna pull the top ring off and we'll just verify it. At least that's how it's been on all the other ones. Pull the top ring off, then I'll take the second ring and we will check it. And I'm guessing it's going to be the same. So I'll take the second ring, push it down about 1 inch, and we'll take 30 thousandths, and it goes right in. It's a little tough, but it's right about at 30. $30,000. That's where the second ring is at. So top ring has been at about 22. So this is 26. I'm gonna go to 26 on the top and then 30 on the second ring. But I'll just show you guys that these are at about 22 right now. So 22. There you go. So that would actually still probably work pretty decent. That's still at 0.055 per inch of bore, but I'm going to go to 0.0065 on the top ring and then 0.0075 per inch of bore on the second ring. So that ends up being 26 and 30. So that's going to be a little bit smaller than I was on the other ones. I was at 30 thousandths on top and bottom, or top and second ring. So we're going to try it a little bit smaller on this one, just to see what happens. I don't think it'll really be too bad. So I'll put the second ring back on, and I don't have to do any filing on the second ring. But this top ring I'm going to have to file, and I'm going to make sure that I show you guys clearly on the video here that I'm going to stand back away from the engine and I'm going to file. My last one that I did, I was just doing this as like an example and people kind of wigged out. But I did actually file them off camera. I filed them off to the side. But somebody did actually have a good point that I was then using the file and then hitting the piston in with the file. So yeah, you got me on that one, but it takes quite a bit, so I'm gonna kind of file the edges down, make sure there's no sharp spots, because you can kind of feel them if there's some ring material sticking out. Make sure this is nice and surgically food grade clean here, and then I'll put this thing in and check it. Probably won't be big enough yet, but I usually like to do it after, about 2 or 3 times. I usually like to take to get them to the right size. just so I know I'm not taking off too much material. Well, too much is better than not enough, right? Or is it? Slam that down. Some people just use a grinder, so that works too. I mean, it's still too small yet. Maybe someday I'll be really cool and actually get a filing tool, ring filing tool. That'd be kind of cool. I'd like to have one someday, but some are pretty cheap, some are real expensive. So there you go, that's at 26 right now. So not too bad. 26. And there you go. So leave this guy here. I'm gonna put the ring back on the piston. Then I'm gonna take the rings, make sure they all kind of spin freely. And then I'm gonna put some oil in there inside the ring. So I'm gonna put the ring gaps on the top. And then I'm just gonna use my finger and dab some oil in. Kind of fill up that gap. Gonna fill up the ring gap with oil and then move it around, spin it around. Let's get some oil in there. Make sure they're nice and loose. Now what I like to do, the dot is gonna go towards the front of the engine. And then what I usually do with the ring gaps is I'll take the second ring gap and put it kind of off to the side at maybe like a 10 or 11 o'clock, and then I'll go the complete opposite 180 with the other gap. So the ring gaps are on the opposite sides. So there's a top ring gap on that side, and second ring gap is on that side. But I also do make sure that I have them offset from the pin and where the rod is. So I always do them at kind of like an angle. So you have the pin coming across here, and then I'll do the one ring gap here and one ring gap here. I don't know, that's just how I do it. Put my ring bearing in, my bearing, little dab of oil. And then I'm gonna use my fancy compressor here. This thing is pretty slick. Got this at Summit, the 4-inch bore. I did end up picking one up. If you guys are on my Facebook page for the channel, I posted a picture of these things the other day. Summit has them for like 29 bucks. So they're really not that expensive. And man, that's nice to just push them down and then they go right in place. Ooh, slick. Like I said on that Facebook page too, I'm just kicking myself for not buying one of those things sooner. I guess I just assumed that they were expensive, the tapered compressor. I assumed that they were expensive. And then I looked and they're 29 bucks. Like, what in the hell? Why have I been fighting with this little compressor band piece of shit for how many years? So what I'm gonna do now is just take the cap, and I'll put the cap on, and I'm just gonna kind of snug it up with the wrench so enough so I can spin it without the bearing spinning. So I can twist it around, do the rest of the pistons. And then I'll go through and find my assembly lube and lube it up and do it the rest of the way. I always use assembly lube on the bearings. Let me know if you guys ever do it without assembly lube and just like throw some oil on it. Like if you know you're gonna start it up right away, right when you're done building it, you're gonna toss it in. How well does that work if you were to just like toss oil on the bearings and start it up? I'm just gonna make sure the other journal is on the bottom and go through and do the other one. So I'll do the same freaking thing. Just keep going. So these rings are all loose. I'm gonna cheat and I'm really just gonna do the top ring. Make sure that this one's good. All the other ones, I've done 4 of them already and they're all at 30. So what I have found is they stay pretty freaking consistent. As long as they're from the same engine, they're usually pretty close. So I'm gonna get going on these. So yeah, if you guys have never done this before, these rings all have a little dot on them. See that little dot by my thumb? That's usually for the top. Because these rings, believe it or not, actually have a certain way that they gotta go. One of them is, I guess I could just show you guys. You can see that this ring, the second ring, is a lot thicker. It's a lot wider than the top ring. So you can kind of tell which way they go that way. You can see that this one here has the dot on the top of the ring because these rings are actually like kind of tapered out for scraping oil down. So you have your oiling ring and then you have the ring here that actually has like a little lip on the bottom. So when it's coming down, it's actually scraping oil off the cylinders. So they do go in a certain way. If you have never seen it before, that's the cool story. All right, so I did find my assembly lube now. I'm just gonna go and take these caps back off. And then we'll put a little blob of assembly lube on it. And we'll torque them back down. I'm just gonna torque them to 55 foot-pounds. I got the first 4 done already. The oil seemed like it stayed in there pretty good, but I guess it's only for a little while. You can still see the oil's in there pretty decent. So I guess this will be an interesting little test, because I'm just gonna put a little blob on and then smash it down and twist it around. I usually put assembly lube on both sides, on both halves of the bearing, but I mean it should press it around. Probably don't even need it, to be honest, as long as it's got some oil on it. And I'm gonna put it in pretty soon so it doesn't sit too long. So I'll go and tighten these guys up. This is set at 55. So then I'm gonna twist it, and I'm only gonna get like a half or a quarter turn or whatever on it, and I'll do the back one And then I'll maybe give it like another half a turn after this, just so it twists that assembly lube around. And I'm not going to rotate it a whole lot after that. And then we should be good. Put the oil pan back on, and we can throw the heads back on. That's all pretty basic, simple stuff. All right, guys, so we're gonna just toss this thing back together. Got both the heads on. I didn't torque them down yet, obviously, because I'm still putting the bolt in on this side, but I don't have the other side torqued yet. So that's all I'm gonna do is torque the heads down, and then I'll put the valley cover back on. Rockers, valve covers, and then we're pretty much ready to go in. All right, so we'll go ahead and do this. I already got a couple of these. I'm just doing like the first pass. I'm only gonna go to like 70 this time. Normally I go higher, like 80 or whatever. So I'm just gonna do a ballpark by feel on the first pass. And then I'm just gonna go to 70. And we'll see where that gets us. My little monkey in there. All right, so now I'll go to 70. There we go. All right. So there I'm gonna call it. Got them torqued, both sides just like that to 70, and we're gonna let her rip. Okay, I keep lying to you. I keep saying I'm gonna go to bed, but it just, this thing goes together so quick. Just like, oh, I don't know, I just feel like, why am I, oops, I just feel weird leaving it like 10 minutes from finished. I'm gonna do these by hand this time. Yep, you guys are giving me crap. I was getting crap in the last one for this little tiny wrench. I like my little wrench. Yeah, the DeWalt does a pretty good job. It's a little zippy. It does what it needs to. Sometimes I'm a little surprised with it. The low setting is like barely does anything, but there you go. Here, now I can put the valve covers on, and we're pretty much done. We're done except for all the other stuff I didn't do yet. Valley cover, knock sensors. So what do you guys think? You think I should throw this engine in and then buy one on the and then build one on the side for the truck, and then eventually get rid of this one? Get like a different 4.8 or 5.3 and build it on the side and get it ready for next summer. Because I don't think I'm gonna get a different converter yet, probably until summer. So would that be an idea to get a different motor and build it and actually build a decent one? I don't know. You guys let me know. Put this guy on. We're really almost done. Go back over these and just check them. So take your bets, guys. What is going to be the first thing to break? Because we're going to push it until we break something again. What's going to break? You think it's going to be four-wheel drive stuff, or you think it's going to be something on the engine? If you think it's going to be the engine, what is it going to be? What's going to be the cause of the failure? Let's take some bets. I'm curious what you guys think. Toss the knock sensors in. And then after this, I'm going to be done. I promise. This I'm just using a 7/8. Yep, 7/8. Tighten these guys down. Good old knockies. Alrighty, boys. That's about it.